Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about one coaching truth. Are you ready? Let's get started. In last week's episode of Remarkable TV, we talked about some lessons I've learned as a remote leader, and one of those lessons was about the importance of clear expectations. And as I said in that episode, the importance of clear expectations is true for any leader, regardless of where their team members are located. So I decided I'd say a little bit more about that today, and that's the one coaching truth I wanted to talk about, that we cannot get expectations clear enough if we want people to be successful. After all, if your folks don't know what you want or expect of them, how can they possibly deliver? I often say that whatever is in their job description, it does not include reading your mind. So let's talk about how we can apply this one coaching truth of super clear and mutually understood expectations right now. Okay. First, it's only fair that we give people clear expectations because, again, how can they possibly meet them if they don't know what they are? It's like asking them to hit a target that they don't know where it is. It's not fair, and it's not going to get you great results. So the first big question is, what do you expect? See, oftentimes leaders say, well, I know what it is that I want, but if you can't describe it to them, if they can't see it too, it's not possible for them to meet it. So the first question, and it's worth spending time on, what do you expect in terms of tasks? What do you expect in terms of behaviors? Oftentimes you'll have someone who maybe you think isn't doing everything really well, but they would come to you and say, man, I'm doing my job, aren't I? And you'd say, well, but, see, whoever comes after the but are also your expectations. And so you've got to get those clear in your own head because there's no way they can be clear to them until they're clear to you first, which leads to how do we get to clarity, which is to write it down. Write down those expectations. So when you ask yourself that question about what do I really expect, then what I want you to do is to write those things down because thoughts are fuzzy, words bring clarity, and when you get them written down, you have a chance to be really clear on what exactly it is that you mean. Next, have a conversation. Sit down with that person or with a team if they all do the same job and say, so here is the expectations that I have. Here's what they are. And you have them written down. Don't just hand them to them and say, here, read these expectations, here they are, but rather use them as the framework for conversation that leads to mutual understanding, that leads to the written thing can be the document that helps us to get to true understanding. Okay? You want to have a conversation so we can get to that place. Lastly, ensure understanding. And we ensure understanding by not just telling them and saying, do you get that? Or does that make sense? But asking, hey, let's talk about it, think about a situation, is this what it really means? And having the written document can help us put all that together. Okay? Now, this sets us up for greater success as a leader. This sets your team up for much greater success as team members, and it allows coaching to be successful because now we know what we're coaching to, which are those expectations, and how we can help people close a gap if in fact one exists. Let me close with today's tweet. The best coaches ensure expectations are clear and mutually understood. Earlier I mentioned last week's Remarkable TV episode where I talked about our book, brand new book, The Long Distance Leader. So if you don't have a copy, you probably want one. If you lead a team remotely, or if you have even one team member who doesn't work where everybody else does, you're a remote leader, and this book, The Long Distance Leader, will help you. You can learn more at longdistanceleaderbook.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Remarkable TV.